So next, now we have to move into the, as I said in the previously, that we will next extract the values of start endpoint, hold start endpoint, setup hold slack, and setup slack next. Okay, these values we will obtain from the single report, as I had already shown you all earlier. And how we will be doing that, let's move on and see. Okay, so next, so now what we will do, in order to access this report, first I have to open the report. I have to able to read the report in the read mode, right? So first let me open the report. Next we will open the report. So let me name another variable. I'll read report. So in this case, what will I do? I will open the dollar report file in read mode. Okay, so after opening the report file, I have to able to parse through the file line by line. So what I'll be doing, I'll be reading through the file line by line, and I will be assigning a regular expression, whatever we want the value start point end point. So I'll be passing the regular expression and into the file parsing, and we'll be checking whether and whenever we get the pattern, we will simply extract these values and assign it into a separate variable. In this case, we will be using an array, because as you have seen earlier, there are two values for start point and two start point values, two end point values, and two slack values. The start point, the whole start point, and the setup start point. And I have to be able to access the whole group separately and the setup group separately. As we have seen in the report, let me show the report. As we have seen in the report, that the first sets of values are the whole values, and the second sets of the values are the slack values. So whenever we will, suppose we will pass through the script for the start point value. Now when we will get the start point value, it will move it will pass this value to the variable which we will set, and then after passing this, it will keep on checking into the file, and then it will get the next start point value, and this value also will be passed into the file. However, in our case, wherever we will be using an array, so based on the indexing of the array, okay, we will be segregating based on the index, of course, and then we will select a particular the first group will be of that whole group, and the second group would be of that setup group. So let's do that first. So now what we have done, we have opened the file in the read mode. So next what we have to do, we have to pass through the entire file. So for that we are using the while loop, and inside this the command what we will use the gets command. The gets command, what it does, it reads a single line at a time from a given report. Okay, so while gets and then what we have to read, the dollar read report file, and it will be read line by line. Okay, and it will be read until the file is, until the last line of the file. Okay, so this, okay, after that what we will do, after this is the while loop. So let us close and open the while loop. So within this curly braces, I have to write whatever I want in the while loop. So now what we are doing, we had opened the while loop in the read mode, and we are reading line by line. So next what we want to read, so we have to set a regular expression. So let us, we have to set a pattern that we want to read. So set pattern. So first one is the start point, right? Let me copy and make mistake with the spelling. So start point, this is the first one. We will be extracting the start point. Okay, the start point, and then start point, and then next we will check if the pattern, this start point, okay, wait, now we'll see if the regular expression command, okay, it matches the regular expression as regular expression on each line, and return the values when it find the line which matches it. Okay, so regular expression is exp, you can take a look at it, where there are number of switches and has advantages of regular expression. That means you can do hundreds of many things in using regular expression. Now if regular expression, which is the pattern, which is the start point, it is found in any of the line, okay. Now when we find that regular expression, if it matches, then what we'll do, again, this is the course basis, we will be setting a variable. As I said, I'll be using an array, so let me first assign a variable. Again, let me name that as group, which is basically, it will be the index of the array. So let me name this is start point, so let me name the variable as set start, okay, $group, because there are two groups, $group, and then let me close this. First let's just see, let's pass the entire line, the full line, okay. So let that be $line, okay. So I think it should do, and let's just see what it will show. So puts start $group, and then next we have to increment the group. This is for the 0th group, so we are moving on the 0th group, then we have to also reach the next group. So for that, what we have to do, we have to increment the group, okay. But this we will be doing at the end, but just to show I'm doing, okay. Let's run this. So now you can see that the entire line for the start point, the pattern start point, is being printed, okay, at present. And this has occurred because let's go into the program. Out here, what we have done, we have set the variable start.group, we have assigned it with $line, okay. However, I want only the values, okay, only the start point values, excluding the other part of the particular line, okay, or the remaining string. So for that, what we will do, I have to access only this values. Now these are represented in the form of list. Now, like as we can see, this is the 0th element of the list, here's the 1 element, and this is the 2nd element of the list. And now in order to access the first element of the list, I have to use the command lindex. We had done this quite a number of times previously, so I will not be discussing that as much. So what we will do, lindex from the $line will be printing only the values. So what we got, the values, okay. The start point, this is the start point of the setup, then this is the start point of the this is the start point of the whole, then this is the start point of the setup for the first library, and then this is for the second library, and so on and so forth, okay. Now this is done. However, one more thing I want to say, like as I said, I have to be able to access these values individually as a separate value, as a separate group. So this the first element, these first elements of each library, they belong to the whole group. So for that, what we have to do, like, let me show one more thing. Let me go, because now as we have not incremented the group, so by default each of the values are, if we directly put the 0th value, then each of the values are set up, and whole slash, these are assigned to the 0th group, okay. So if you see, look now, at present all the values are printed. Now however, what I said, in order to be able to access these groups separately, I have to able to assign the whole group whole in the 0th group, as it is as that will be the first group in my report, and then the setup group into the into the second group, which is the one group, okay, group 1. So what we will do, so leave this as it is. Now what will I do after I get my first, so because I'm in the for each loop, so after I get my first start point, what I will do, I will increment the group, okay. Now in order to be able to access these individual groups, what I'll do, I'll be assigning another variable, because that was what after taking so much of time, that was what I had understand, and my mentor had showed that this is the way we have to do it. So what we will do, we will be assigning each of the group, that is the zeroth group, will be assigned into one variable and one group to another variable. So now what we are doing, we are in the while loop. So first when we first report file, that is the first library file, we move into that, then we are reading the report, and then that report we are okay. Now again from the report we are passing the whole line by line. After that we set a pattern, and then in each of the line we did the regular expression matching, okay, through regular expression command, and whenever our pattern is matched, we had extracted it into an array, set group 0. After obtaining the first value, that is the start point value, we have incremented the group, and then again we move into the while, into the if into the pattern part, okay, because we are inside the while loop now. After finishing this, now after moving out of this, because I have to close my report also, right, so that my file, because if we don't close it, then each of the file will remain open. So first let me close the report file. After each save, after we are done with one report file, that will be closed, and it will go to the next report file, okay, because here after processing it will move to the next report file, right. So in this case, now what happened, after moving out of the while loop, let me assign another variable. Say let me name it as start 0, and let this be let the start 0 group be assigned to this value, because this was what we had figured out, okay. So let's also print this out. Put say hold start point. This will be removed just for understanding. Hold start point is what, $start 0, okay. So next we will assign the one group into, because after moving out of the first group we are done, then what we have done, we have incremented the group, and the first group, after finishing with the entire report, the first group we have assigned it to start 0, and then the second group we will be assigning it to start 1. So $start 1, okay. So let's print this out also, and let's see what will be the output. So let this be as start 1, setup start. Just for understanding purpose I'm showing this, otherwise I'll be deleting all this later. So this is done. So let's save and let's see what will be the output. Okay, so now, so as you can see, the whole start point is 1951 and setup start point is this. So now we are able to segregate the first group into group 0 and the second group into the group 1, okay. So now it will be easier for us to assign this value to the table. So next in the table, as we had seen, the next column in the table was that the value of the start point and the end point. So, and I had merged the values of the start point and the end point for the whole part. So for that I have to first get the endpoint values also, okay. Let's find all the patterns, and then we'll move ahead with the assigning those values to the table, okay. So next we are done with first pattern. So next we'll move into the next pattern. So we'll set the pattern is let us name the variable as pattern 1, and what is our pattern which you want to match is the endpoint, okay. So endpoint. Now again we set the pattern. Now again we are inside the first report file. Now if our regular expression, in this case endpoint, via the regular expression command, if our regular expression $pattern 1 is passed into the $line, then what we will do, we will set another array, okay. So let that array, let us name that as set, let us name that set n, dollar group. Now I will not be printing the values as it has to be correct, so when we will finally find, okay, now it's the same thing in case of end group also. Here look, start point also has these three values elements, and end point also has three elements, so we have to access the first element. I will not be repeating the same thing again. So what we'll do, the value which we want is L index dollar line. From dollar line, what do you want? I want the first element. Okay, so this is done. Okay, so let's move ahead. So let us I won't be printing these values. So because it's the same thing, oh yeah, now I cannot increment the group out here because there are three values in the group. So after I finish, after I complete the regular expression, after I complete getting all the three values, after that only I have to increment group, otherwise it would be a problem, right? So next what we'll do, I'll set n1 as n0 as dollar n0 group. It should work. If it doesn't work, we'll see. Okay, and we'll set n1 as dollar n1 group. Okay, so next we are done with the endpoint. Next is the slack. Okay, move out of this. So let's set another pattern. Let's name that as pattern 2. So for our, what is the pattern? We want the slack. It is small letters as we have seen. So whenever our pattern is slack, so what happened? So next we'll check if our regular expression, that is the pattern, matches with the dollar line, then we have to print that. So regular expression dollar pattern 2 matches the dollar line. So in this case we will assign another array. So let me name that as set slack group. Yeah, in this case, let's see, in this case you'll see that the values, that the zeroth value, because here there are three values, 0, 1 and 2. Okay, okay, let me first print that dollar line, then I'll show. So okay, so let's just take the entire line first. Let me show by printing it. I made mistake somewhere. Regular expression set slack group Oh yeah, I have to increment the group. I am groups. So oh no, value should come set slack group if our dollar patches the slack. Then what was the error? Let us just see. Can't read start one, no element in array. Oh, we have not incremented group, obviously, because I have deleted right there, because there is no such arrays. So what I have to do, I have to increment the group, and that means after, so first what will happen, first the dollar report will be open, and then it will match the start point. The first start point value will be set to the set group 0. Okay, and then next it will move to the next line for the dollar report. Again, it will match the endpoint. Here also will get the first endpoint value. It will be going to the group 0. Then next it will check the slack. After getting the slack also, it will be assigned to the group 0. Okay, after the group 0, again it has to pass through the entire file. So what we will do, we will increment group. So for this set of values are for the group 1. So again it will check the read report line. Again it will read if the set pattern start point, it will get the second value. So that value line will be the value will be assign to the group 1 and then group 2, group 1, group 1. Okay, the same thing. So this is what we are done. So let me again set the value. Let's slash 0 is what? Nothing but dollar, like 0. Okay, and then set, because this was the best option which we had understand to do, I mean to access each group. However, if you find any other way, you do it and just let me know about it too. So let's rerun this. So now these are the values of the whole slack and the setup slack. However, now as in the previous cases, I want only the values excluding the other strings or the blank spaces which are available in this particular variable. However, in case of Tickle, they do not consider the blank spaces. Initially I thought that they do, and I had done a lengthy process. I string map all these blank spaces into blanks and all those. So however, it's not necessary. We simply need to access the element 0 from this. Here there are 3 elements: 0th element, 1 element, and the second element. So what we have to extract only the 0th element. Again, it's the same thing. What we have to do is simply we have to index the line, and we have to find the we have to get only the 0th element. Okay, so now we got the values. Okay, so we got now we got all the values, the start point, end point, and the start point of the whole, the start point of the setup, then end point of whole and setup, and then the slack of whole and setup. So we are done with the another 4 columns which we require to assign in a table. So I won't put this again. I don't want to, because we already know we are done with all this. So next, also assign a new variable to slack 0 and slack 1. So next is what we simply need to assign the values to the table. Okay, so now we are already, the row has already been created. Now we have to access the next row, the next column. Okay, and then move ahead. For the next column, what was the next column? Okay, let's just, okay, so let's check what was the next column. The next column was the start and end point of whole, start and end point of setup, whole slack, and setup slack. These 4 values we have we have already extracted these values. We now simply need to add them into the respective columns. So first, the start and end point of whole, and in case of whole, the whole values belong to the 0th group and the setup values belong to the group 1. So first, start point and end point of the whole. So let me consider a new cell element. Okay, in this case, what do I need? I need the start point and the end point. So start 0, then I need a slash, and end 0. So this is for the this is okay, this is for the setup whole slack. I'm done. So next data elements is the start and end point for the setup, which is the group 1. So for that, what do I do? The same thing, only simply $start 1 slash $start or end 1. Okay, next we are done. So next was the why are they 2? Wait, I have, so get rid of 1. Oh, okay, fine. So DD done. So next okay, so next is the whole slack. For whole slack it will be, let me DD whole slack. Whole slack means slack 0, so that is $SL is 0. Next, in the next column it is the setup slack. So TD slack 1. I hope we did not make any mistake. So let's see. Let's rerun this. So let's see what table has been. Okay, yeah. So now we got all the values. Now these 4 values we have. We got the serial number, we got the PVT corner, then we got the start point, end point values, got the start, and you can match this for, with the report file. Open the report file and check. So let's check for the first one, FF101B. Let's check the start and end point of hold. It is 19561, 19560. So we got that. So next is the start and end point of setup, 483843. 483,843. Next is the whole slack is 0.272. that is what we got, and setup is 5.437. so that is what we got, 0.2. You can check the rest of the reports also. Okay, so we are done. So next we need to extract the WNS, FEP and TNS value. Okay, so for that we have to access the WNS report. So how do we do that? How do we move out of the post synthesis, I mean the min-max report? Then we go into the WNS report and read those reports and do the further processing, which will be the similar ones only. Let's see how we will do that.